Okay, I got the windows open because it's warm weather and so forth, but when the room gets quietish, it can go down to about 30 dB, but it's getting a bit, outside now because traffic's starting to move slowly. So there's still something there hovering. Might be because I've got the door open and it's picking up slight sound from the um, kitchen from some of the amplifiers that, but they're still very quiet. Um, I could close the door to the room. I could close the window. That'll take a few seconds. And close the door. Wow, that changes a little bit. I can't see what else is kind of there. Of course, I might use the REM, but it's a little bit. Let's see what it's like now. It's gone down to 30 dBc. dBA measures a different frequency weighting from 500 hertz up, so it's not going to pick up much low frequency. And it goes down to LO. But got to measure the full range. I just heard my cat Magic jumping down in the kitchen. Kind of varies on that frequency. So I might want to use something like REM or True RTA. Maybe I might want to connect the headphone output. Not the headphone output. What am I saying? The RCA out to the directly to the computer. But the computer might have some sound noise on it, so it's a very sort of kind of problematic thing because I can kind of sense something. I can hear some traffic outside faintly. Typically, that's what a home might be, around about 30. Busy, a busy a busy street or such, with the windows closed and such, door closed to the room, because there might be other windows open and sound travelling around and so forth. The weakest link is going to be windows, and so you want to have the room to be well, there could be still something in present coming maybe from the speakers that I can't really hear. There might be something just there, very faintly, and it's being picked up on the SBL. I would have to, if I want to do the test again, turn everything off, all the amplifiers off, so make sure there's nothing, because to do checks and all this, you'd have to check for a heck of a lot of things. Of course, the kitchen behind me, the boiler, the gas boiler heater for the water. Occasionally, sometimes, but that only turns on actively during when I got the thermostat turned on for the winter time. So, and it's only behind that wall just over there. Also above me, the ceiling, and then the loft. It's looking around on finding all these spots to sort of like, because then you can play a film soundtrack at a little bit slightly lesser level, because the noise floor in the room would be very low down. You think the noise floor? Well, there's the floor. The noise floor is just the scale reading going from 0 dB up to the highest. And so if there was a lot of traffic sound background and you saw your SBL meter doing 50 dB, 50, 60 occasionally, it's going to be pretty distracting, because it's mostly going to be in low frequency sounds, and some of those sounds, believe it or not, are probably a little bit more better than the film sound mix or the music mix, whatever, and you'll just kind of notice because the sound on the outside, whatever it is, car, vehicles and all that, they are bigger scale compared to speakers and so forth, and you don't need to prove it by turning everything up bloody even extra more loud, because what's the point? And as for dynamic range goes on movies or music and all that, it's maybe, but it's still recording, and it's manipulating, and a lot of study goes into it and so forth, but you occasionally get these movies that are just blaring, bloody blaring loud unnecessarily. Compared to other films and how the style and how they mix everything, and I could probably put on some older movies, or depends, and I think, well, this plays better, this dynamic range, etc. I can hear these soft sound effects here. They're like doing hyper sound effects on the very soft sounds, and making it a bit hyperactive by not really too loud, but making it clear. And then you get those other movies where it's just ridiculously too faint, too soft, like too faint, and it's like, and then it's just got sheer bloody deafening bloody dynamics that you would just simply turn the volume down on it, and thinking, well, that's a crap film mix, like Star Trek Into Darkness. Garbage, bloody lens flaring, and garbage Dolby Atmos sound mix. Oh yeah, and it uses a kind of like a proper mix, not a manual bloody remix bloody thing. So 30 dB, I wouldn't mind getting this room down quiet, than lower than 30 dB, but I've got a window over there behind the screen, but I've got my cinema speaker JBL's but behind it, and there's something also a little bit blocking it, but I need to fill the void in because of that would improve slightly. And then, well, don't really want to do this side too much because I usually have a panel, a wood panel that's over there, so I fit it back in the hole, but I've not done that now for a few years, just occasionally, because now I've got the I might do it during winter, but very rarely, because I still open the window just a little bit during the winter time, just to air the room out. Um, but the actual windows are not too bad. They could do with a little better sealant, because occasionally you feel a draft coming in, and that would be through the seal. So the sealing, they just need resealed, and just find ways around it that are very simple to improve it. So I mean, I might do something a little bit more on, but probably not much today, because it's going to get daytime soon, and there's going to be a lot of traffic going up and down the road, but that's a good thing. That is a good thing, because that's where you want to measure everything, and then you think on the average of what traffic goes up and down the road, buses, truck, lorries, motorbikes, the odd speeding motorist that can't tell between 30 miles an hour is legal speed limit and does rather 80 mile up a road. Dangerous. So you got to look at an average, where you could do it on the RTA and so forth, and get an average scale. Yeah. And once you got that average scale, you then start applying the treatment and all this. Impossible to make this room soundproof. That's totally impossible. It's not as if it is impossible. No, did I say possible or impossible? No, it's impossible, because I will just make this room so damn tiny, because you got to make a room within a room where it's isolating. The floor, I'll have it on a springing sort of thing, so you won't get any vibration from the outside, which occasionally I do, because when there's a bus going down the road, it goes over a manhole. When a wheel passes over the manhole, it makes a kind of seismic vibration, which travels down the storm drainage, all coming down the road, and must pass through underneath or connect near to this building, and it creates like a 1.5 second, like a kind of mini earthquake. And that's probably because of the wheel hitting and then creating a boom boom sound wave that's traveling through, and it just, I'm surprised it's not damaged the bloody drainage. Anyway, so making the room isolating and a room within a room is in a way, in the sense, kind of cheap. But how would you make the floor suspended, and anything that's a spring-like mechanism, or anything that spring mechanism used for a car or whatever, and you cut it so it's not that long or whatever, you just cut the length down, and you got to take all that into account, because the room would get very small, and you'd have to have a very, very big room to do that sort of thing. Not practical for a small room. Sound treatment on the walls just to stop the echo and so forth. Make it a short reverberant sound in the room. Yeah, good. But soundproofing is a totally different thing from sound absorbing. Soundproofing is usually expensive, and sometimes it might not even be beneficial, and it'd be a total waste of money. But the things that you can get and do it cheap, yeah, it's doable to get springs and make a floating floor, because those springs take a lot of weight when a car or whatever vehicle is so much tonnage. Yeah, it's all doable. Anyway, the only things I like to fix are maybe just a little bit of sealant around the window, so when I close it, it's a little bit more airtight sealed. Otherwise, you just get a heck of a lot of condensation on it during the winter time. Not much I can do much about the loft. That's all pretty much I've sorted above. Anyway, I'll close the door. I can feel that air pressure moving. Hey, Bear.